Hey friends, Daniel here. Well, guess what? We're about to check out a local fire station. This place is totally awesome. I really like fire stations and I really respect firefighters. You know, they put their lives on the line all the time for you and me. So they really are local heroes. So I want to check out how it all works behind the scenes, meet some firefighters, and show you how you can get involved in your local fire station. So let's check it out. All right, we're inside. This is where all the magic happens. We're gonna check out some of the trucks here. They just had like a crab fest, so they're cleaning out the inside of everything here. Wow. So what truck is this?
The Engine Company 1.
Okay. Check that out. That is so cool. How many firefighters can fit in the truck here?
6 on this one.
6, okay.
And 6 on this one as well.
Okay. Ah, wow. This thing is huge. Man. So did it take a long time to figure out everything, like where things are? And
Yeah, it's a process when they decide to start speccing one of what you want, how much water you want.
When they order one of these, everything down to what style flashlight and where it's going to be mounted, every single little detail is figured out on paper, and they build these things. They actually build these in 2 months. Wow. It's about how long it takes. It takes about a year.
Build the entire engine in 2
Yeah,
months.
they'll build it in 2 months. It takes about a year from when they get the contract with the company. There's a lot of different vendors that make fire trucks, and so once you reserve a spot, usually it's about 6 months from when you sign that contract to when they'll start construction.
Oh, wow.
And then you fly, usually people from the department will fly up several times throughout the process to do the pre-construction meetings, stuff like that, down to the final inspection where they walk through and go through everything from, these are supposed to be stainless steel bolts and they're titanium. Why is this? And they go through every little detail of the truck before they take delivery to it.
So these are custom made for you guys.
Absolutely.
Wow. Yeah, so what's it like driving the truck?
It's really like driving a very big car.
Yeah.
It's just, when you look at it, it takes up the majority of the road. So when you're driving your car, you've got feet on each side.
Yeah.
And a lot of the roads, especially in this area, you've got about 6 inches from yellow line to the edge of the road. So it's very heavy.
Yeah. So it's like driving a semi, I'm sure, but probably,
Easily
with a full load. Yeah. Wow.
Especially with the water tanks. So once you get into the business of having, a half full water tank, and you're going to fill up the water, we actually have baffles in the tank, but the water will move, so you have your 3 points of stopping when that happens. So you try and stop, the vehicle slows down, well now all that water weight shifts forwards. So it's
wow. So where is there water stored in here?
It's a giant polymer tank inside.
Wow.
And Brandon, correct me if I'm wrong, this is 750.
No, it's 1,000.
1,000 gallons?
Yeah,
Wow.
so there's 1,000 gallons inside of here, and they make tanks in different shapes.
Okay.
Especially with, this is actually an older fire truck.
All right.
405.
Yeah, so they're usually, a lot of departments will replace pumpers every 10 years. They're actually speccing a new engine to replace this one right now. So you'll see just the changes in the last 12 years are incredible as to what you'll see on the new pumper that comes in. And as you talked about earlier, driving one of these things, it's one of the leading causes of death for firefighters is vehicle rollovers and apparatus accidents from usually other vehicles on the highway, failure to yield, things like that. They're just causing these things to roll over.
Wow, that is shocking. You think it's a fire incident.
So it sounds cool to be able to drive one of these things until you take into consideration that you're accountable for the lives of everybody else on board. One of the leading causes of death of firemen, which is the accident. So
even with a huge truck, because it's it would seem like you guys have a lot of protection being in the truck.
Well, when they roll, they roll.
Oh, right.
And so all that weight is coming down on it at one point.
Wow.
So it's
yeah.
that's why it's very paramount for other people on the roadway to be paying close attention and know the traffic laws, how to yield and things like that, because one person can mess it up for everybody.
Right. Yeah, man. This is it's a semi, but it's kind of wide like a Hummer,
Yeah, it's wider than any other any other vehicle you find on the road, just not commercial. It's
And there's so many buttons here, you know. It's like kind of being in a cockpit. Too.
yeah, it's all pretty simple once you learn it.
Yeah.
There's only a couple things that it controls.
Okay. It's right here. Thank you. Yeah. Look at all those controls. Yeah.
So this one right here is your intake gauge. So it's going to show the pressure and PSI of what you're taking in. So when you hit a hydrant or you're being supplied by another pumper, it's going to show you whatever you're at. Or if you're drafting, which is actually where we take this hard sleeve hose that doesn't collapse and we'll drop it in a static water source or hook it up to a dry hydrant, which is a pipe down through a pond, or cisterns, which we don't have very much around here. And it actually, for lack of better terms, it's sucking the water up. What it's actually doing is releasing the air pressure that's holding the water down and making the water think it can kind of rise higher.
Wow.
than
There's a
it
lot of
actually is. So
science
it'll-
involved. You got to keep track of
Absolutely. There's a lot of different equations that come into this particular spot right here. Just knowing, what to flow each line at. So if we take, say, our cross lay number 2, that's 200 feet of 1 3/4 hose. So the coefficient for that hose and friction loss is 15.5. And you take that multiplied by your distance and your nozzle that you have on it to come up with about 160 psi is what you're going to flow that with that elevation, which is it's on the spot math.
Yeah, so it pays to study math in high school, right?
Absolutely.
Big time. If you want to be a firefighter or a good firefighter.
These are your spreaders. So when you get a door open, you want to pop it open. This is more informally what you learned as a kid is the jaws of life.
Oh.
These they just spread wide open. So you've got 3 different concepts of extrication. So you've got your spreaders, which once you get a point in there, these are just hydraulic tools that these will move anything. They open wide up and they'll basically stress the metal to its point of failure and pop it open.
Wow.
These are your cutters.
Pretty heavy, huh?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
So once you get into the business of cutting, so you get you're gonna cut the roof off a car and get somebody out.
Yeah.
So you shear right through the posts.
Wow.
These will cut through just about anything.
That is amazing.
This is the new engine that they just bought.
Oh,
This
wow.
engine 6.
This thing, it's beautiful.
This is our fire engine.
Wow.
The one we drove here today. So
Man. So this is a 2000, what, 16?
This is a
15?
2015 Smeel Sirius cab.
Wow.
Seats 8.
8. Oh, my goodness.
8 men in this. It's got a 750 gallon tank, a 2,000 gallon a minute pump. So this really is the Cadillac of the engine companies here in Warren County.
Super efficient, huh?
It is. It's quick. It's got a lot of get up and go power. It's got a nice little engine in it. Excellent pump.
May I go inside?
And everything's
Okay.
absolutely.
Sure.
Everything's new. Everything's still tight and stuff. No loose bolts yet.
Wow. Yeah, it smells new too. So when you guys are fighting a fire, how much weight do you guys typically have on you? Joe?
That's
About 70 pounds, probably. 50 to
about
70.
pounds when you
Okay.
take all the things into consideration. And it's like wearing your heaviest winter clothes in the midst of summer.
Okay.
So it's very hot all the time.
Yeah.
It's nice and cool out right now. If I got dressed out, I'd sit here sweating
Huh.
because it's actually based on air layers, thermal layers in between the linings. So I'll show you here. It's got different layers that come through, and it all comes down to even the shirt you're wearing underneath. So basically, these different materials are making it take longer to heat the layers of air in between each individual liner in this gear. So like if we go into a fire right now and you come up and you put your hand on my shoulder, it compresses, it takes the air out of those pockets, and I'll get a burn of a handprint on my arm.
Oh my goodness. So I'm with George. He is a water rescue and search and rescue expert. He's been doing it for years and years, and he runs the water rescue service here at the fire station. So can you tell us a little bit about the boat?
Well, this right here boat is made by Bibbs, and it's called a rescue sled, which is one of the most stable boats in flood water. Floodwater mimics whitewater, like in these big whitewater rivers, and this is one of the most stable boats out there. So this is the reason why we use the style boat that we do.
Okay, awesome. So, can you give an example of a response that you had to make in the past couple of years?
Probably the most common response that we have are the cars in the flooded roadways.
Okay.
Believe it or not, that's the biggest cause of death in floods is people standing in their cars and trying to drive across the flooded roadways, and typically that's the most frequent call that we run. Occasionally we have to do evacuations where an area has flooded, it's flooded the people's homes, and then we have to go out and get them out of their homes.
Yeah, and you were saying before that this is one of the most difficult and dangerous things the fire department does overall.
Water rescue, you're 4 times as likely to be killed performing a water rescue than any other thing that we do, including structural firefighting. And the biggest reason is the lack of training.
Okay, wow. So is it possible for students to help you guys in search and rescue efforts, volunteer, support?
We use volunteers. They may not be in the boat, they may not be performing the rescue, but there's a lot of things that go along with it. Directing people where to go, keeping crowds back, away from the water so we don't have additional rescues, maintaining the equipment. There's a lot of time that goes into maintaining all this equipment that we have here. So there's always something for the volunteers to do.
Okay, so just go to the local station and ask about volunteer opportunities. And,
a lot of folks, they start volunteering, they see how good of a career it is, and they end up making a career out of it. It's a great career.
Awesome, yeah. So how long have you been doing firefighting for?
A little over 40 years.
Wow,
so
that's amazing.
I started as a volunteer in Sterling, Virginia, and then I went career and was 26 years in a big department. And then after I retired there, I came to work out here in Warren County.
Wow. So you've seen a lot of change,
lots of change.
Yeah, a lot of experience.
Yeah.
Probably training a lot of people, helping a lot of people.
Tried to.
Yeah. So if a student wanted to get into search and rescue more and more, are there things that you could recommend that they learn as a teenager?
There's a Department of Fire program. Virginia Department of Fire Programs has a class called the FTM class. It's Field Team Member. Great class for learning search and rescue techniques. You actually learn about ropes and knots, you learn about map reading, how to navigate in the mountains, in the wilderness and everything, how to survive, survival tools. It's a great class if you want to get in the search and rescue aspect of it. There are also a lot of rope rescue classes out there, which generally are available through the fire department.
Okay, excellent. That's awesome. Well, thanks for showing this area. It's really cool. You guys do a lot of really important work.
Well,
Awesome
thank
to
you
see.
for recognizing us.
Yeah.
Well, that was totally awesome. Those trucks were really cool. Hope you had a good time looking at them. And the firefighters are really awesome, very helpful, really dedicated guys, really responsible, and really are local leaders and heroes. So had a great time talking to them. Hope you had a good time watching, and hopefully this sparked a little bit of curiosity, and there are lots of opportunities in your area to participate and help with search and rescue operations and your fire department, so check it out. I think you'll have a lot of fun. Even if you don't want to do it as a career, you can check it out and see if it's something you'd be interested in and learn a whole lot and help out your community. So, see you soon.